put a fighter in your corner.
And welcome to the show again.
I'm back.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
The technician, the producer just asked you, were you ready? And you had a look on your face. But you stay ready.
Well, you know, I'm as ready as I can be.
You ready as you can be.
Yeah.
Man, welcome to the show. We are so delighted and glad you've joined us for another time in the life and times of the one and only William Bill Walton. Y'all don't know that name. Trip Walton.
Yeah, Bill would be daddy.
Yeah, Bill would be daddy. All right. Okay. Everything's good, man?
Everything's great.
Good.
Just easing into the summer, getting hotter.
Uh-huh.
Rainstorms blowing up every day. Work is good. We just brought in 2 new employees. Hannah Preston started this week. She's going to be my personal assistant and my legal assistant. She's going to replace Grayson. Grayson's going to law school.
Okay.
Then we hope to have him back in 3 years to be a lawyer with us. And then Jasmine James starts next week. I knew when we interviewed her that I wanted to hire her. I found that because her accent was like mine, and I don't hear that many distinct East Alabama, West Georgia accents like mine. And I said, "Where are you from?" She said, "I was born and raised in Beauregard." And she played softball at Auburn University, got a master's degree at Auburn. So we're bringing in Jasmine next week to help in the litigation department, which we need to get moving because we got so much litigation, which is a good problem.
Mm-hmm.
So now I may be looking at bringing in another lawyer in the next month or 2 so we don't get too far behind. Had a bunch of birthdays this week at the firm.
Okay.
The last couple of weeks. Jenny Lockridge, who's been with me for 28 years now, had a birthday. Betty Burns, who's been off and on with me for 9-10 years, and produces the show for us, the written part of the show, and does the research on the show. And then Grayson, his birthday was this week. He was 23 or 24. And so.
But you got a lot of, you didn't have to, knowing you probably do something for birthdays.
Yeah. We don't do it every single birthday like we used to. We do it once a quarter, and then we celebrate everybody's birthday once a quarter that's in that quarter. Go out to eat or bring in lunch or dinner or something at the firm. So it's a lot of fun.
Okay. And this man, y'all, and this probably, well, we're not going to cut this part of the show. I'm going to put it in there. You know, my dad passed a couple of weeks ago. But here I am, we're at the visitation that night. Number one, this young man comes to the visitation. We're not just friends on TV and I just interview him. It goes much deeper than that. And then I look over there by my dad's casket, and there's a flower from Trip Walton and the Walton Law Firm. And I just wanted to say thank you for that on the show, man. That was very touching. I appreciate it.
You don't get me all emotional.
I didn't mean
Like when I watch commercials on TV, I'll be up with my girlfriend, says, "What's wrong?" I said, she says, "It's a shampoo commercial. What are you crying?" So, well, that was nice. I appreciate you mentioning that. That was fun. And you know, when I went up to the visitation, I saw numerous people, former clients and stuff, outside the church. So that was fun to revisit, catch up.
I got you.
That was pretty neat.
Right. I mean, we'll go to the Opelika Chamber of Commerce then, because I didn't mean to make you cry.
Well, the Opelika Chamber of Commerce, we sponsored their 81st, whatever it is, anniversary, which is what we do. We sponsor the Auburn Chamber stuff and Valley Chamber stuff and Opelika Chamber stuff, which, you know, not many trial lawyers do that because the Chamber of Commerce is not really set up to be our friend.
You got that right.
But we do support the Chamber because we feel like we help them and they help us and they send us business, so it works good. It works good.
All right.
The second annual Grill Master Contest is coming up July 16th. So if you've got hamburgers or ribs that you think are good, you can register at www.btvnetwork.com and show out. See what you can do. Then, I don't know, this is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
A $3.9 million inclusive playground park opened in Auburn last week, free and open to the public.
$3.9 million.
And it's across the street from Wrights Mill Road Elementary, which is not that far from my house, probably an eighth of a mile, fourth of a mile. It's ADA compliant. The playground has 5 large playground pods.
All right.
There are over 30 play structures. There's also fitness equipment, I'm assuming like gym equipment.
Mm-hmm.
A Gaga ball pit. Now, you want to tell us what that is?
Do you know?
That's way over my head.
I
don't
ball
know.
pits where you climb in and you can't hardly stand up.
I don't know. I know who Lady Gaga is,
Yeah,
but I don't know who a Gaga ball pit is.
Okay.
Then they got a zip line. I know what a zip line is.
Uh-huh.
It's you hang on and zzz, and hope you don't let go.
Mm-hmm.
They got a rock climbing wall, which is supposed to be good for people with Parkinson's, sort of like boxing. So
Okay.
that's, maybe I need to go over there and get on the rock climbing wall.
No, you try to put one in your office, but go ahead.
Probably. And the rock climbing wall apparently is specially designed for persons of all ages and abilities to enjoy. So that's super.
Well, man, that's good. They had the money to be able to do that.
I mean,
It's
really.
a lot of money, and then you don't charge for it. Well, somebody paying for it.
It's amazing, these cities, what they do for people that live, I was up in Atlanta, North Atlanta, up in Cumming, Georgia, and Alpharetta, Georgia this weekend. Went up with my girlfriend to see where she spent the last 20 years and took her son out to eat lunch.
Okay.
And then we went back down to the Ritz and went to the Tabernacle. That's a great venue for a concert. We went to see Kip Moore, a little country singer there. It was a lot of fun.
All right.
But anyway,
All right.
we're going to do a motivational thing today.
Well, I think they look forward to that. Do you think it's worth doing?
Yeah, it's good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's got I found an error in it, so it's
Okay.
not more than a decade ago. It's more than a century ago.
Okay.
A man was reading the morning newspaper, and to his surprise and horror, he read his name in the obituary column.
Dun, dun.
Oh, wow. So that meant he was dead. And he knew he wasn't dead. So the newspaper had mistakenly reported the death of the wrong person. So he was shocked to read news headlines about his death. When he regained his composure, he decided he'd just read what it said.
Mm-hmm.
And the obituary included sentences like, "Dynamite King dies," and "he was the merchant of death." And guess what? The man was the inventor of dynamite, the product dynamite. And so when he heard the words merchants of death, he asked himself a question. Is this how I want to be remembered? So he said he didn't think so.
Okay. Okay.
So from that day on, he started working toward world peace. And his name was Alfred Nobel. And he is remembered today as the great Nobel Prize, the greatest of all prizes. So the Nobel Peace Prize has been honoring men and women from all corners of the globe for outstanding achievements in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and for work in peace since 1901. The foundations for the prize were laid in 1895 when Alfred Nobel wrote his last will, leaving much of his wealth to the establishment of the Nobel Prize.
Wow.
So the moral of the story is, it's never too late to start over.
Saw yourself dead and changed yourself. And came back alive.
Changed
again.
himself and is known today every year with a Nobel Peace Prize. Still going. That's an interesting story.
Very interesting.
I don't know if it's true or not, but it's pretty damn interesting.
It's got to be true.
It's got to be true.
Because you're reporting on it.
I report it.
And you're the motivational factor of peace and all that good stuff.
And so that's just interesting.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. It's never too late to start over.
Starting all over again.
Country song, R&B song, or you just made up a song?
Just made up.
Okay, I got you. See, I have to ask them sometimes because you just never know.
You never know.
Because you got a wide variety.
That's for sure.
Wide variety. I'll stick that at the end. Anyway, we'll go to the questions. I just saw something coming back from Mobile the other day on the Auburn exit, but that's something else. But anyway, we'll go into the questions.
All right, let's do a question.
A question it says, "Hi, April Ross. This weekend I saw the Trip Walton show, and on your page you said that he will answer certain questions." Yes, he will. Mm-hmm. And here's my question. If you are involved in an accident and you know that you have been drinking, should you submit a breathalyzer? Can you refuse? And this question comes from Tyler H. in LaGrange, Georgia.
Well, the first thing you should do is get out of the car and run like a scalded dog. No, just kidding. Just kidding, Tyler. That would not be my official recommendation.
Right.
Even if it was a recommendation. Well, let's talk about that. You've really got a couple of questions here. Should you submit to a breathalyzer? That's a good question. And I'm going to sort of break it down like this. First of all, you can refuse. If you do refuse, your driver's license will be suspended automatically for 1 year, regardless of anything else that happens, because of implied consent. You see, the interesting thing is, you don't have a constitutional right to a driver's license. It's like getting a fishing license, or a hunting license, or a business license. The state came up with the licensing qualifications and requirements. You pay a fee to do it, and you have to follow those things. And a driver's license is one of those things. So you can't take the Fifth Amendment and get away with it, because there is no constitutional right. So technically, you're required to take the test, but if you refuse, remember, not only will they take your license for a year automatically, it can be used against you at trial, unlike if it was a constitutional right and you could take the Fifth Amendment. Because if you take, say it's a murder case and you take the Fifth Amendment, they can't comment on the fact that you took the Fifth Amendment.
Okay.
But if you're in a DUI situation and you refuse to take the test, they can and they will comment that you didn't take it, and they will argue that the reason you didn't take it is because you were guilty. So now let's back up to the original question. Should you take the test? If it's your first DUI ever and the other party in the wreck is not injured, so you're not looking at a felony charge of assault of some sort, I would probably recommend taking the test 8 out of 10 times. And the reason that is most jurisdictions in Alabama and Georgia have what we call pretrial diversion programs.
Right.
And if you take the test, you can get in the pretrial diversion program, do alcohol and drug classes, do community service, live at the foot of the cross for 6 months. Some require that you put a device in your car where you have to blow in it, so if you have any alcohol in your body, it won't crank. So I would say if it's your first time and nobody's injured, seriously injured, I would probably take the test. We used to say don't take the test. But I have a lot of clients who don't take the test, and some jurisdictions will not let you in their pretrial diversion program if you don't take the test. Now, others won't let you in the pretrial diversion program if you blow more than 0.15 or blow out the rooftop. So, you know, it's a decision everybody has to make on their own. I can't tell you what to do. That's just my thought process. But you got to remember, implied consent, they're going to take your driver's license if you do not, in Georgia or Alabama. If you do not blow, they can take it. Also, in Georgia, they have what we call a hardship license. So you may be entitled to a hardship license if it's your first DUI, which would allow you to drive to school, work, the doctor, and probably church. In Alabama, we have the gadget we put in the car. I call it the blow and go machine, and then you get a driver's license for that. And if you got to drive that car only. So that's a great question. And I think I beat it to death with various and sundry thoughts. But
that makes sense.
Remember, if it's your first time, I would go ahead and blow.
Okay. All right.
But I'm going to let you make the ultimate decision.
All right. Okay, this next question is from Lisa D. in LaGrange. And of course she says, hi, Kevin and Tripp.
Hello.
I listen to your show quite often, and years ago, a dog bit me. But I had no idea that you can sue people for dog bite cases. Just for future references, if it ever happens again, who do you sue? That dog owner? How are they able to pay? Is there any insurance involved? Or do the dog owner has to pay out of pocket? I guess I just want to know, how does it work? Because I wish I had knowledge of that years ago.
Another good question. Everybody always asks great questions. Well, let me flip the page just so I don't get confused.
Okay.
To begin with, you would file a claim against the homeowner. So, assuming the dog owner owns a home,
Okay.
the source of income to pay for a claim would be homeowner's insurance. So that's why you would want to hope it's a homeowner who is not renting, because most people don't get renter's insurance, although
True.
some renter's insurance will cover dog bite cases. So you'd have to be aware too, one issue with suing dogs is a lot of dogs get one free bite. Now, like a beagle.
Wow.
A beagle's not a biter. So a beagle bites you, your homeowner is scot-free. He gets one bite. Now I got the list. We did this list a while back.
Okay.
But I thought it's interesting because it lists the dogs from bottom to top to bottom, from 2005 to 2017, and these are fatal attacks. These are where people were killed by dogs. And number one is pit bulls. They killed 284 people between 2005 and 2017. And pit bull is normally the top dog on top of the list that does not get a free bite.
Okay.
If you have a pit bull and he bites somebody, it's you know what. And a lot of times if you have a lot of times, homeowners won't cover. I mean, they'll exclude pit bulls a lot of times. Now, number two, and Rottweiler is number two, and they kill 45 people during that time period. And Rottweilers and pit bulls are always fighting for the top baddest dog in America. Number three, German Shepherd, go figure. Number four, mixed breed. Number five, American Bulldog. Number six, Mastiff and a Bull Mastiff. They kill 14 people. Huskies is number seven. They kill 13 people. You're not going to believe this. Labrador Retriever killed 9 people, and they are on the list. Now, you got to remember this. There are more labs probably than any other dog in the world. So they got more opportunities to bite.
Right.
And most of the time, labs are defending their backyard or their food or their owner. But they did kill 9 people during that time period. Boxers, I've had 2 boxers. They never beat anybody, and they're on the list, and they kill 7 people. And then, of course, coming in at a strong last place is Doberman Pinschers.
I thought they would be up a little higher.
I thought they'd be higher, and the Akita is not even on the list. I mean, I ain't figured that out yet. So anyway, it's these cases are tough because we do a ton of them. We got one in the other day where a dog bit somebody downtown. The dog had just bit somebody else, so it has a pattern of biting.
Okay.
But if there is no homeowner's coverage and the person is not wealthy, then you probably don't file suit. So probably 50% of the cases we have to just, there's just no way to recover for the client. But when you do have big coverage and you have a bad attack, I had one $300,000 case one time. I had a $500,000 case one time where big Rottweilers ate somebody up, and they had plenty of money.
Who determines the value of dog bite cases?
You negotiate with the insurance company. If you file a lawsuit, the jury determines the amount.
Okay.
Most people do not. Most insurance companies do not try dog bite cases.
Okay.
I've never had one go to trial.
Okay.
They don't like them because they know they're gonna get beat.
So
They're gonna get bit by the jury, so to speak. So it's and we do, like I say, 15, 20 a year.
Okay.
So it's a good question.
All right. At that time of the year, you got my boat ready?
Well, my ex-wife has got the boat. I got to figure out when she's not going to be at the lake house so we can break it out.
Well, we got next family get together. I got the jacket, right?
That's right.
Okay, I got it.
I saw her at the restaurant yesterday. She brought Riley's at cheerleading camp at Auburn.
Okay.
So.
All right. So we're talking about boating next. So that's
boating
the time of the year.
is that time of year. People are getting out in boats, and apparently they're not paying a bit of damn attention. Because in the calendar year 2020, the Coast Guard counted 5,265 accidents involving 767 deaths and 3,191 injuries.
That's crazy.
Approximately $62.5 million in damage to property And this is all as a result of recreational boating accidents. We're not talking about the Ukraine war here. We're talking about boating, having a good time, but apparently having too good a time and not paying attention to what they're doing. The fatality rate was 6.5 deaths per 100,000 registered recreational vehicles. This rate represents a 25% increase from the 2019 fatality rate of 5.2 deaths per 100 registered recreational vehicles. So apparently getting out of the pandemic, people just went crazy.
Just went crazy.
Just went absolutely over the top.
Okay.
There's a lot of stats. I'm trying to find one that may be of interest.
And a lot of people, I see a lot of people, they don't wear life jackets.
A lot of people don't wear life jackets. Yeah, I was proud of my stepdaughter. We had her class from St. James in Montgomery up at the lake house a couple of weeks ago, and they were all getting on the pontoon boat, big pontoon boat, which I left with my wife, ex-wife. It was brand new, and I walked out. But anyway, they were all piling on the boat, and I said, whoa. We got 14 life jackets. Only 12 people are going on the boat. And they said, well, the sign here says you can have 14 people on the boat and you got 14 life jackets. She said, I said 12 people are going on the boat.
Okay.
It's my boat. Mm-hmm. It's Trippy's boat, and I'm in charge. Mm-hmm. And I heard her saying that speech to him, and I went and said to Jack, I said, well, you can tell she's a little trip. She said, oh, yeah. She told a lot of people that they weren't invited that normally come, because she said, we're not having any beer drinking.
Right.
Tripp went through that with my brothers, and we ain't doing that.
Okay.
So it's been interesting, too. No drugs, no alcohol, no fighting anytime we've had her group up there.
Okay.
Where I cannot say that with my two boys.
Okay.
There was always a scrap or some beer or something, where you smell something in the air.
Okay.
So, I'm proud of Riley and how she handles. She's very mature.
Well, good.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Where the cause of death was known, 75% of fatal boating accident victims drowned. Those drowning victims with reported life jackets usage was 86% were not wearing a life jacket. So that tells you a life jacket may help you.
Yeah.
Unless you cut in two. Where length was known, 8 out of every 10 boaters who drowned were using vessels less than 21 feet in length. So that tells me maybe some small fishing boats getting run over by some big boats. What it sounds like. And of course, as you might imagine, alcohol use is the leading known contributing factor to fatal boating accidents, where the primary cause was known. It was listed as the leading factor in 18% of the death cases. So, and this is interesting, where instruction was known, 77% of deaths occurred on boats where the operator did not receive boating safety instruction. Only 12% of the deaths occurred on vessels where the operator was known to have received a nationally approved boating safety education certificate. So that tells me you need to get to a boating class,
right,
and learn what's what. This is sort of interesting.
Okay.
There were 247 accidents in which at least one person was struck by a propeller.
Wow.
Collectively, these accidents resulted in 39 deaths and 241 injuries. I'll tell you something else that you need to be careful about. I've looked at and handled one Sea-Doo case and jet ski cases. And my rule with my Sea-Doo, or my former Sea-Doo, it's my ex-wife's Sea-Doo.
She got that too?
She got that too.
Okay.
Is only 2 people at a time.
Okay.
And the back person has a lanyard that if they fall off, it kills the kill switch. And the reason for that is, if you have 3 people on there and the back person falls off, and he or she legs are obviously going to be one to the right and one to the left. We have looked at numerous cases where that jet ski is like a knife, a butcher knife that you see in the store circle, and it cuts right through the person. And you don't want to be cut by that any which way, but the place where it's cutting you is extremely delicate. So I'm just going to suggest never put 3 people on in Yamaha, Sea-Doo, or any kind of vessel like that. And if you don't put 3 and put 2 only, and then hook the lanyard to the second person. So if he or she falls off, it doesn't split them right down the middle up to their belly button. That is not a pleasant deal. And I brought in a lawyer from Beaumont, Texas, who specialized in those type claims.
Okay.
And it's scary. So anyway, just be aware of that. Most people have no clue that can occur, and that is a common. I don't know if it's common, but it happens.
Right.
Okay.
I know that ain't good at all.
Keeping yourself safe, boating under the influence. Obviously, you can't be drunk and driving a boat or Sea-Doo or anything on the water, or even riding on top of the skis. Don't drink and drive, whether it's on the ground or on the water. Have a designated driver. Don't let children drive. A lot of people get drunk and let their 10-year-old, who's probably capable of driving the boat or the pontoon boat, but they're just not old enough. Stay sober. Have an adult that's sober driving the boat. Children can start driving at 14 on the water, but they have to have a license.
Right.
And it's not a hard test. It's easy to pass. So use common sense. I don't know if we use common sense anymore because common sense doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Just do what you like.
Do what you want.
Do what you want to do.
Just do what you want to do.
And
you probably end up being a statistic, and we don't want you to be a statistic.
Well, sure, we're just about out of time.
Well, dadgummit.
I know it.
I was going to talk about life jackets.
Life jackets. Well, tell them how you can save them with your law firm if they need you. You can give a life jacket out like that.
Call me.
To get in contact with you.
Call me at 334-321-3000. Our office is in Auburn. If you're seriously injured, we'll come to you. But give us a shout if you need a personal injury lawyer. We do personal injury, car wrecks, truck wrecks, train wrecks, dog bites, and we do wrongful death cases when it's unfortunate results from a wreck. But anyway, call us at 334-321-3000 in Auburn, Alabama.
Thank you so much for watching. Please keep the questions coming.
Absolutely.
We enjoy seeing you every week, or you enjoy seeing Trip every week. Or vice versa. Anyway, we'll see y'all later.
We don't start the fight, we finish it.
Car accident, DUI, wrongful death? Contact the Walton Law Firm, 334-321-3000.